For as long as I can remember, the phosphate level in my main tank has sat at around 0.3 or above, which is around 10 times higher than most people would have in an SPS dominated tank. Now, to be fair, the corals in my tank still look really good, but if I'm completely honest, the only reason I haven't tried to reduce my phosphate is because I'm too lazy when it comes time to changing my RoFos. However, I think I've now figured out a lazy man's routine for taking the faff out of changing RoFos, so today I'm going to show you that. Now, the best way to do this is to take you down to the sump with me and show you, so I'm going to get my camera off the tripod and we'll go and have a look. So now I'm down by the sump, I can show you the plan. So I currently have a phosphate reactor in place, and I have recently bought another one of the exact same kind. So TMC Reef Filter Nano 100. There's a smaller size called the Reef Filter 50 that is probably perfectly satisfactory, and they're still pretty small. So the reason this is so good though for lazy people who can't be bothered to change RoFos is because changing RoFos is so easy with it. So this comes in two parts. First off, there is the pump, a tiny little Sicce pump. So Sicce, they never go wrong, do they? Nice and reliable. That sits at the bottom and it just plumbs straight into the hole. And that is a 300 litre per hour pump, so nice and gentle. There's no head loss, so it's all right there. And that will just run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That pushes water up into the filter that then pushes it through the RoFos. But this comes in two parts. So first part is the bracket actually that goes in your sump. There's a little, where is it? There's a mounting bracket here you can see, and that clips onto the edge of your sump and that holds it in place. So this always stays, this part probably there downwards is submerged, this stays in your sump. The part that holds the media is here. And that's the beauty of it, is to change your RoFos, all you need to do is lift that straight out and it comes straight away. You've then got a lid on the top that you just pop off. There's a little rubber ring on it. So it goes on and off really easily. You pop that off, you put your RoFos in here, you throw the old stuff away, you put your new RoFos in there, rinse it under the tap. You don't need to rinse it under RO, rinse under the tap. Pop that back on, go back to your sump, job done. That is how easy this is. I've used loads of RoFos reactors before, 3 or 4 at least, and they're all a little bit fiddly, either because they've got kind of a screw fitting or a funny bayonet fitting or a load of thumb screws, and I've always found them a bit of a faff. Whereas this is much, much easier, and that is stage one. Now, to be honest, the main reason I don't change RoFos is because I'm lazy, so actually just one of these should fix that problem. But now I'll tell you about part 2, phase 2, which is why I have 2, and for that I'll show you how I'm going to get the sump set up. So the obvious question is, why have I got 2 of these? Well, David Saxby, the owner of DD Aquarium Solutions, which is the company behind RoFos here in the UK, I think they're the distributor here in the UK. David Saxby did a talk a couple of years ago whereby he said that 80% of RoFos on average is depleted after a month, but it still has 20% of its use after. So ideally, you don't want to throw away RoFos after a month because you still have 20% of its capacity to use. But at the same time, you don't simply want to be relying on old RoFos that has lost 80% of its effectiveness. So this way I can add brand new RoFos with 100% capacity every month without losing the last 20% of effectiveness, which otherwise just goes to waste. Now, to be fair, the capacity of RoFos probably has more to do with the amount of phosphate in your aquarium water, the rate at which you push the water through the RoFos, and probably various other factors, and this might well just be a total waste of time. But to be fair, I've got so much phosphate that I can't really see a downside of this, so it's worth a crack, and as much as anything, it's the sort of thing that might help me stay on the routine and change it over every month. So this is how it's going to work. What I'll do at the start of every month is put fresh RoFos in this chamber, and then a month later, when this is exhausted, I will take this one out, whoop, move it across to this one, so then that is now old RoFos. I will put brand new RoFos in this one, that goes in there, Bob's your uncle. Suddenly now I have this stuff which is old, a month old, but still has 20% capacity, and I have brand new RoFos in there as well. So it'll mean I'll still get the turnover of new RoFos coming in, and it just basically means that I won't be wasting the last 20% of the old stuff. And the beauty of that for a lazy reefer like me is that it's just so easy to pop these out, even if they're dribbling a little bit, and then swap them round once I've changed the RoFos. So that's my lazy man's plan to deal with phosphate levels in my tank and try to get them down to a level that should benefit my corals, make them grow more quickly, and ideally maybe even make them look a little bit brighter and show a bit better colour. It'll take a few months for me to figure out whether this has actually worked or not, so I will report back in a few months' time. But in the meantime, if you've got any questions, chuck them in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for next week. And until next time, happy reefing.